Now, Barack Obama, he's hip-hopping all over the place and really isn't succeeding in doing a damn thing. I saw a piece by Charles Krauthammer saying that expensive trip to India was worth every penny. Really? Why? Am I missing something? I guess I am. You have a president who's badly politically wounded going overseas, trying to convince countries to do things that they're not going to do. And they've told him so. I just see things differently, I guess. And if it's worth every penny, let's hear what he had to say in South Korea, or the Republic of Korea, as we call it, after the G20 meetings in Seoul. Cut 3, go.
The United States obviously has a special role to play on the international stage, regardless of who is president. We are a very large, very wealthy, very powerful country. We have had outsized influence over world affairs for a century now.
All right, stop right there. This trip was a disaster, every damn penny of it, because this is what the man does. We have had outsized influence over world affairs, let's rewind this, Mr. Producer, for a century now. I mean, this is just stunning to me. And it's not even considered newsworthy. I mean, you won't see it on the nightly news programs. Who the hell even watches them anymore? But you know what I mean. We have had outsized influence over world. He sounds like, he sounds like Castro, Chavez. America, you're all too powerful. You think you control everything. You've had outsized influence over the world for a century now. Am I right? Oh, he's our president. Has America ever elected somebody to the presidency who's actually despised this country? And, by the way, when I say this country, I mean you. You're this country. You the people. You know how much contempt he has for you? This is why he rams home things like government-run health care, cap and trade through the EP. He doesn't give a damn what you think. This man's on a mission. He's a true believer, ladies and gentlemen. Marxist, does that ring a bell? Cares what the people think. We have had outsized influence over world affairs for a century now. Now let's go take a very short stroll through the last century, shall we? Without us, excuse me, Hitler would not have been defeated. Without us, the Soviet Union would not have collapsed. Without us, to be perfectly honest, all kinds of diseases that spread through the third world, Southeast Asia, Africa, Latin America, would not have been addressed. Shouldn't we have a president who speaks to the world about the magnificence of this society, who encourages other countries to intimidate it? I don't mean intimidate, I mean to follow it. I mean, it is stunning to me that rather than encourage, our kind of a society on these other nations. I mean, South Korea, the South Koreans know that but for America in the last 100 years, where would they be? Well, they'd be ruled by the inbreds in the North. And they'd be looking for dinner by trying to catch a rat here and there or eat some root from some tree, and they'd be on their hands and knees looking for beetles or whatever they could. That country, North Korea, is a gulag, the whole damn thing. And but for America, Mr. President, South Korea would be no different because they would be ruled by a Marxist iron fist too. What kind of a perverse mind, what kind of perverse thinking leads you as President of the United States to have such contempt for your own nation, for your own people. And I want you to think about this. If this is how he views us, that we've had outsized influence over world affairs for a century now, if this is how he views us, do you think he's really going to care what happened in the last election? Do you think he's going to really care what you think, period? The answer is no. He doesn't care. I must tell you, in my lifetime, I'm older than some of you and younger than others, obviously, I've never seen anything like this. I've never seen a president like this. And there's just something wrong. I don't know, I mean, I know ideologically where he's coming from. But this country, I'm going to be blunt with you, Barack Obama has contributed next to nothing to this country. This country has promoted Barack Obama into its highest position. What did he do before he became president? Nothing of consequence. Nothing that's going to have any meaning. In fact, they concealed so much of his background and his record. And despite all that, he became president of the United States. And he still has nothing but contempt for the people who made him president of the United States. He's the most unqualified man ever to serve as president. And to me, he acts like this was always his calling, that he deserves it, that he's God's gift. That's why he doesn't connect with the people. He doesn't like the people. He's better than the people. Now, here's one more. Obama. Now, you would think this election would have some impact on his approach to governing. Oh, they can meet at Camp David and, exchange wet kisses, whatever the hell they do there. Fine. But it won't change him. He's got a question, and then you'll hear Obama. Cut one, go.
A quick follow-up. If somehow are interpreting your senior advisor David Axelrod's comments to a newspaper back home that your compromise position is to temporarily extend the Bush tax cuts, is that the wrong interpretation?
That is the wrong interpretation because I haven't had a conversation with Republican and Democratic leaders. Here's the right interpretation. I want to make sure that taxes don't go up for middle-class families starting on January 1st. That's my number one priority for those families and for our economy. I also believe that it would be fiscally irresponsible for us to permanently extend the high-income tax cuts. I think that would be a mistake, particularly when we've got our Republican friends saying that their number one priority is making sure that we deal with our debt and our deficit.
All right, so there it is. He's with the propaganda. Let me break through some of this and unravel it because I think it's important. He wants to make sure taxes don't go up for middle-class families starting January 1st. Now, a couple of points about that. So he's not saying I want to keep tax cuts for middle-class families. He wants to make sure taxes don't go up for middle-class families. That's number one. Number two, this phrase middle class, it comes out from Marx, among others. The middle class is a definition that politicians use to turn one citizen against another. If somebody owns a mom-and-pop grocery store, and they gross $400,000 a year, but when they're done paying everything that they pay, maybe a couple of workers, employees, and this, that, and the other, maybe they, at the end of it, they get, well, what? $189,000. Is that rich? Is that middle class? What is that? And why is it whatever they say it is? For all I know, they have 5 kids, 3 who are in college. Is that rich? Why does it matter? If they're producing a service that somebody wants, it's a convenience store that people like, they want to go there, why are we punishing them? Why are we doing everything we can to put them out of business? Who cares if they earn $189,000 or $89,000 or $890,000? What do we care? When you go into a dry cleaner, do you say to the person there, how much does this place make? No, you don't care. When you go into a restaurant, do you say, do you make over $1 million gross receipts a year? No, you don't care. You never ask a stupid question like that. So why is it that when the government says we want more money, we're supposed, yeah, what does that guy earn? We need to get that money from him or her. And by the way, it's never enough. I've said many, many times before, when they used to attack millionaires, they were actually really millionaires. Now, you got to tell me somebody or some small business earning $251,000 is rich? It used to be $400,000. It used to be $750,000. It used to be $1 million. It used to be $5 or $10 million. You can't believe that this person is rich. They may have more money than you, but they're not rich. And besides, let me ask you a question. Who would you rather have the money? The person who earns it and creates something that you want, or some bloated bureaucrat who earns $150,000 a year, exclusive of benefits like a pension and a health care system? Why should the guy working on the corner who earns $251,000 a year, breaking his ass 7 days a week, or 5 days a week, or 2 days a week, why should we hate that person but love the people who take his money? We'll be